I'm Jerry Green from the Pacific Council, and I would like to welcome you to our multimedia presentation through which we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Pacific Council, and which we're offering in lieu of a traditional annual report. I want to thank you for being so involved in both our organization and sharing our commitment to the promotion of international affairs, which in this day and age, in the face of a global pandemic, global economic challenges, and a variety of other global challenges, highlight the significance and the import of what we are doing. In early 2020, our board of directors approved a new 5-year strategic plan through which it was decided that we would be far more focused on community engagement. We decided to enhance our attention in Los Angeles, to reaffirm our values and our mission by strengthening our commitment to global engagement and paying particular attention to issues of diversity, equity, inclusion, nonpartisanship, civility, informed citizenship, and innovation. The early days of the strategic plan were interrupted by a global pandemic in which we were forced to shift all of our activities to virtual, but at the same time provided an added motivation to be value-driven in our work and everything that we've been doing. In transforming our programs, which became all virtual, we also decided we wanted to pay increased attention to new faces and new voices in our discourse on international affairs. At the same time, we wanted to be even increasingly attentive to issues that at one time were thought to be domestic, but which in fact are completely international in scope. Organizations like ours customarily focus on global economic development and interactions, national security, U.S. foreign policy, relations at the very high level between states around the world, and other such important but narrow considerations. What we've decided to do now is to be realistic about the fact that more attention needs to be paid to such issues with global resonance as racial equity, immigration and immigrants, public health, climate change, homelessness, gender equity, a free press, the rule of law, and a variety of other considerations which are central to either the support or the undermining of democracies as we understand them as socio-political systems. The distinction between domestic and international issues really no longer exists in our current world, and as a consequence, the Pacific Council has become increasingly dedicated to emphasizing the crucial intersection of local to global. In order to do this, we've partnered with organizations in Los Angeles, in California, around the United States, and around the globe, with special engagement with the World Affairs Council in San Francisco, the Leadership Council for Women and National Security, the Office of the Mayor of the City of Los Angeles, COMEXI in Mexico City, the Ditchley Foundation in the United Kingdom, and many others. And as a result of these active collaborations and partnerships, we've been able to reach out to new audiences, to collaborate on shared goals, and to increase our collective impact. I want to re-emphasize to you the Pacific Council's commitment to even greater diversity, equity, and inclusion. These considerations are part and parcel of our DNA, and they reflect a critical lack of diversity, especially when it comes to gender and ethnicity, in the excessively narrow international affairs community. The international affairs field still remains a field dominated by people who look very much like me, and as a consequence of that, the Pacific Council has committed itself to assuming a leadership role in broadening the pipeline, expanding and growing the community of people involved in international affairs across our membership, within our staff, in our speaker lineup, in our leadership, and with everything that we do, we are seeking to feature and include underrepresented voices. As you view this multimedia presentation, you'll see examples of where we have invested in this essential effort and where we believe we can do better, as well as many of our peers in the international affairs community. This is a process. It's not an event. It's a marathon, not a race. And we invite you as members of our community to track our progress, to support our efforts, and to join with us in promoting greater diversity. We need commitment and engagement by our entire community. This is not something simply to be left to the professional staff of any organization. I have some good news I'd like to share with you. In January 2021, we are welcoming new co-chairs to our board of directors, Rich Getz and Rob Lovelace. Rich and Rob are longtime, deeply engaged leaders within our board of directors, and I personally, as is our staff, am deeply excited and energized about working with Rich and Rob as we adapt our operations to a continually changing world. We strive to increase impact on our community, and we continue to increase diversity. I want to express my gratitude to our current co-chairs, Mark Nathanson and Ambassador Rockwell Schnabel, as well as to acknowledge previous co-chairs with whom I've worked in the more than decade that I've been with the Pacific Council. Warren Christopher, who is still sorely missed, John Bryson, Mickey Cantor, and Bob Tuttle. Chairs of this caliber are every CEO's dream, and working with them has been and continues to remain a great privilege. They are also a testimony to the very, very impressive quality of people here in Los Angeles. I want to offer special thanks to the members of our board of directors for their continued commitment to and leadership of the council, and for their timely counsel as we continue to navigate a time of unprecedented political turmoil, economic uncertainty, and human suffering. One of the many lessons we've learned from the pandemic is how closely tied we all are, irrespective of where we live, what country we are citizens of, and where we are on the globe. The notion of America first is indeed a selfish fiction. America first is America alone. And if we do not step up and provide the global leadership which people around the world have come to expect and which the United States has provided for generations in a uniquely powerful way, we will be shirking our responsibilities, not only as Americans, but as residents of a planet which is under considerable threat from a variety of sources. We cannot deny our species or our responsibilities. Humankind binds us together, and we have a responsibility that cannot be shirked. Finally, I want to thank all of you, our members, our donors, members of our international affairs community, who make our work possible through your generous and ongoing commitment to the Pacific Council, both materially and in terms of your personal engagement. Your annual contributions sustain our efforts to promote global engagement, and we are deeply grateful to you. And I want to thank all of you, along with our dedicated and skilled staff, who make the Pacific Council the very special organization it has become today. I hope you enjoy our 25th anniversary multimedia presentation, where you will find highlights from the Council's past 18 months, as well as previews of what you can expect in the coming months. Please feel free to contact me directly should you have any questions, comments, or feedback, and accept my very good best wishes for your continued health and that of your family and those near and dear to you. Thank you.